How flexible do you have to be just in terms of your life to do your job?
What flexibility? You have no flexibility.
I can't tell you how many times you've got your week all planned out and you're saying this is going to be a good week. Yeah. You know, the team is on the road. You know, everything seems to be in order, right? And then Monday will roll around, and maybe even before you left the house, there'll be a phone call, you'll get a text or an email. And the day that you thought was going to be a great day, all of a sudden turns into like a crazy day that you completely did not expect. It's unique. It's a unique part of the business, and a lot of times it's about a trade call, you know, and a trade call that you thought maybe wasn't going to be a productive trade call, maybe just a touching base trade call, and all of a sudden develops into something, and you say, wow, there's really something here that could happen. So it's the unpredictability of our days, you know, I think, which makes this a great and exciting business for all of us.
How long does it take to gauge whether that phone call could be meaningful or if it's just somebody kind of feeling you out?
Well, I think it depends on the player and the level of the deal. You know, I think one of the reasons that all of us in this group work well together is we're all pretty honest with each other. You know, if we have interest in a player, if Mitch or Masai or Kevin or Ed calls, I'll say, yeah, you know, we have interest, and maybe even, you know, reveal our level of interest as far as, you know, compensation. Or, you know, if we don't like a guy, we'll let him know that too. And I think that saves time. But, you know, going back to what Mitch was saying, I think the hardest thing for us in our jobs is, you know, the unpredictability of when things are going to pop up. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I think of one example from last summer. I think it was around this time last year, maybe a week or two later in July, usually when things start to die down, relatively speaking, in the NBA. And then the Kyrie Irving trade talks heat up.
It's clear Kyrie Irving has made his wishes clear to the Cavaliers.
Kyrie Irving thinks he should run a team. He should be the face of a franchise.
Breaking news. An all-star, a man responsible for maybe the biggest shot in NBA Finals history, is now on the verge of joining the Boston Celtics.
You know, we all know when the draft's going to be. We all know approximately when the season will start. We know when the trade deadline is and when free agency starts. But the trades and the player issues or potential player issues, those could come up at any time, and I think that's what keeps guys like us up at night.
I think that trade was in August even, you know, because I remember we were just in Africa, and like all of a sudden, you know, like you're looking at your phone and everything is going crazy. And I just remember that I ran into Pat Riley somewhere, and he said to me, you know, like any trade that's done in August is 99% is not a good trade, you know. Like if you do it in August, you know, like then I'm looking at this trade, and that's just our business. It's incredible. It's 24/7 now. It's all year round, you know. Like it's amazing how many events, how many things have become part of the NBA now, just all year round. It's nonstop. And you know what? How many trades do we talk about that don't get done?
Yeah,
I wish everybody in this world knew how much we talk about in the organization, with each other, that never get done.
This group, I've talked to them, and we talk at pretty fair deals. But there's a few guys in the league that will call you up, and they're friends of mine, I think, and they give me the deal, and I want to be polite, and I want to, you know, I use the old adage, I'll run it up the flagpole. That means I really don't care, but I try to be nice. But a couple of guys will call you with deals, and you want to say, do you really mean that? But they're great guys, and I love them.
my job. If I do that deal, I'm getting fired.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, he and I talked a couple times, you know, good talks, but nothing like, you know, I want his best player for my worst player. Yeah.
I always ask if there's an assistant GM spot. If he has an assistant GM spot, then I can come take that spot after I've made that deal that he's proposing.
Well, I think you and I have made a deal. Masai and I, we almost came to a deal, and we probably had literally 100 phone calls, 50 phone calls, and just back and forth every day. When you're trying to do a trade, I'm trying to figure out how I can satisfy his needs with getting what I want, too. And it really all depends. There's so many factors, owners, but also timelines. And trades are the fun part of our business. And, you know, if I can satisfy what they need and what I need, then it's usually pretty good for both sides.